You know, this is probably one of my most favorite worlds in VR chat. It's just so tranquil and peaceful, beautiful music in the background, a nice ocean to look out on, the crashing sound of waves in the background, and just this mysterious look of just lighthouses in the distance with two moons. I always try to come here to calm down, and that's why today I'm not in my typical house. I wanted to just come out somewhere peaceful. I can relax, talk about where I've been, because it's been almost a year since I last did an actual YouTube video. Well, I wouldn't say so, but on this channel, at least, it's almost been a year. But long story short, if you don't want to stay here for the entire time I've been rambling on, just due to just budget constraints, stuff going on in life, and mostly just I'm not really having fun anymore, is kind of just why I haven't made another YouTube video. But you know, if you're in here for the long version, then I guess I'll just have to explain the whole thing. So the first thing is just there's a lot of stuff that's just been going on in life. I actually started this YouTube channel a long time ago, but I started refreshing everything just before I got out of high school, and I did my first semester of college after I graduated, and I just didn't post another video, mostly because it wasn't really just college work, but it was mostly just I had a roommate that it just made it hard to make YouTube videos, and I was kind of becoming antisocial because I kind of didn't really have space to chill out and desocialize, which, you know, I'm very sociable, but I also am a person that needs a lot of time to just be alone, having my mind to myself, having my mind to God, having my mind to just recollect everything. Him just constantly being in the room, it made it hard to really get anything done. Of course, more problems come up. I have stuff that comes up where my scholarships are not paying for my dorm, so I had to stop doing college and figure a way to pay for those dorm. So I got a job, and that job has kept me super busy, unbelievably busy, and I just haven't really been in the mood to even make a video because of that, because I'm just not in the right mindset. I am not focused. I'm not seeing it as something fun. I'm just seeing it as something like a burden, kind of just a bad burden. I've been meaning to make this video for months and months and months, but earlier that day I said, yep, today's gonna be the day I do it. And then I go set everything up, because I just said, no, I'm not in the mood to do it. And I go to bed that night, because I don't want to do it. And that's another thing, I want to try to make everything fancy, but I don't seriously have the budget to make everything fancy. Not that it's unfeasible for me to make everything fancy, but just the time it takes and the frustration it gets to make everything fancy, because how simple and cheap my setup is, it becomes just infuriating to do. For example, right now, I'm using a Quest headset, and I'm using Steam Link, that causes problems on its own. I mean, half the time I go record one of these things and I can't record it because like the Steam Link is just not wanting to work with me. And I've tried virtual desktop, I've tried Oculus Air Link, all of them do the same thing. I even have a dedicated setup where I can do all this on like just an isolated router that nothing else is connected to. And still I have the same issue. I just can't, it just starts stuttering randomly for no reason. And then other times, like kind of like right now, I have zero issues. There's nothing wrong, there's no stutter, no anything. I say that and it just stuttered for a moment right there, but it barely has been stuttering this whole time. But I just find it funny how now that I mention it, it stutters a little. But the point is that's a frustration point, because sometimes when now I'm in the mood to make these videos, I can't because the setup I have is just not working. Same thing with my tracking. I wanted to do full body tracking. I bought a Hardcore X setup, and that has just been boatloads and boatloads of problems. I think it's just because I have so much junk in, no, I wouldn't say junk, but I have so many electronics in my space that it makes it hard for those IMUs to stay, you know, in sync, and it just starts drifting everywhere. Funnily enough, the best way I have found to have tracking is just through like an Xbox Connect, and that actually worked pretty good for a while. I actually used to use Connect a lot in playing VR chat in college, which was kind of funny because my roommate would think I would be spying on him or something like that, and he would like turn the camera away from the middle of the room at what I wasn't using. It was kind of funny, but it actually worked quite well. I just had to always be facing one direction. Yeah, so the only real way I can reliably doing any sort of tracking is I am actually going to have to get some sort of lighthouse setup, and that stuff is going to cost money. That is not impossible for me to get, but it's going to take some time to get. And since I want to kind of do everything fancy, it would just take forever for a video to ever actually get out. So I guess I'm just gonna have to remember that I don't need to make everything fancy. I just need to have fun doing it. You know, I do plan on saving up for it. But stuff like this is going to be expensive, because it's not only just like full body tracking that's going to be expensive. I would actually like to get an actual proper VR headset. To be honest, I kind of want to get just full expression, because the only thing I have is Oculus controllers, which they do an okay job at doing. I can express myself quite good if I know what I'm doing. But it's such a hassle. I mean, I would just like to be able to speak on a camera and my full face of emotion, you know, the way I track my hands, and the tracking is nice. I mean, you just saw right there, my arm just glitched out for literally no reason. And that's something that I just kind of had to deal with when making these sort of videos with an Oculus Quest. I just would like to be able to show off my hands, which I can do an okay job at, but I want to show them off more, be more expressive with my hands. I want to be able to be more expressive with my face. I want to be more expressive with my body, and it's just hard to do the current setup. And on top of that, I just have a limited system, and you know, it's not a bad system at all. Running VR, it runs pretty solid. I only have a 4-core processor. It's a 7700. You know, and back in its day, it was pretty good. But doing something like VR, because doing something like this, if I'm doing like a script or something, which I'm doing this unscripted, so that's something I don't gotta worry about. But usually, I'm doing scripts. I'm doing OBS. I'm doing a virtual camera. I am running VR, which that's just a whole bottle in of itself. I am streaming stuff to my computer, from my computer to my Oculus Quest, back to my computer, because it's also taking my microphone. That's a lot for a CPU, and because of that, it tends to just sometimes be a horror show. Sometimes, like right now, it works fine. Other times I'm getting like 15 FPS, I don't know what's going on, and nothing is working right. My plans for this is I'm just gonna have to build another computer, really. And I think mostly what this computer is gonna be used for is just for OBS itself, because doing something like OBS, it's pretty good at. The NVENC encoder on the GTX 1080 I have is really nice. It works really well. I've had no issues with it. But, for example, doing stuff in VR chat, the CPU is a huge bottleneck. And I just like, get a CPU with more cores, maybe like a 6-core CPU so it can handle it better. Get a GPU with more VRAM so it's better, able to handle VR chat, because VR chat, the most important thing is video memory. It's almost like essential in order to run this. So I just need to build another computer like that, because that's the huge thing that is kind of setting me back. It's just stuff like that. It can be very frustrating because I've had so many messed up recordings because something breaks because of just my computer hardware. Now, I kind of rambled on now about all the issues I have. I think probably now it'd probably just be justified to tell you what I'm gonna do now, because I feel like at least some of you deserve it. Am I gonna continue videos? I'd say so, most likely. But until I kind of get into the groove of it, knowing how to do it, doing it well, actually having fun with it, I say don't expect any sort of consistency with my uploading. It's probably going to be very inconsistent, very slow, but I'm fine with that. Once again, I just want to have fun with it. I'm not here for profit. I'm not here to be popular or anything. I just kind of want to make art. And making videos is just fun when you just treat it like art, because art is just one of the most funnest things you can do with your life. This channel is very scattered. Some of you have subscribed because you like seeing me like this. Some of you have subscribed because you watched a short video of Fallout 4 that I made that was funny. Like, most of you are subscribed because of that Minecraft mod video I made like over a year ago, that literally is like not only my most viewed, but is my most subscribed video. So there's a lot of people coming from all different areas. And to those who were kind of subscribing, maybe you could transfer over to, this new kind of content I want to make, because you're just going to be seeing more of this avatar, really. Everyone else, I don't know. Perhaps maybe I might make another channel where I can try more other creative works and you guys can see more of the content that you wanted to see there. I mean, I've already made I'd say probably about like good couple dozen of you are here because it's like Super Animal Rail. I did make a Super Animal Rail channel already, and I have like one video uploaded. That's why I said that technically it has been over a year since I've made my last video, but on this channel it has, because I did make a video like a couple of months ago on that one. If I continue any other sort of content, I'm probably going to split it up in different channels. I'm not dividing everyone here, because that's kind of just the worst thing you can do with a channel, unless you're like Atomic Shrimp or something. But this channel is more, I guess videos like this, kind of just rambling on, me talking. I like just talking to people, and even if there's no response back, I just gotta accept that for a good while it's not gonna be fancy. It's just gonna be kind of just this, an Oculus Quest headset, basic editing, stuff like that, because I can't afford to be fancy. That's okay. I feel like what a lot of people don't really understand is how much something like video games and technology is really an art. And it's kind of just rejected by modern society. I mean, movies are considered art, music is considered art, painting or drawing is considered art, books are considered art. But video games, they're just considered nothing. Like they're a waste of time. They're not worth investing in because people see them as just that, time wasters, something that to waste your time to not be productive. But personally, I see they're all art pieces. It's a good investment to read books because reading art can kind of give you a different perspective. It can help you learn new ideas, but no one sees that with video games. They see just time wasters, but video games can be an art. They can teach you something. They can create amazing stories, but not a lot of people know that, and because they're just not shown that. So that's why I kind of want to make a channel about that. All the different feelings I get from different art pieces in the gaming space, how I plan to improve my content. Like I said, I do kind of just want to get fancy, but I want to ease into it. I want to save a little money and buy the more expensive stuff that's more reliable and gets the job done better. Either maybe buying or building a new computer or get lighthouse-based tracking, buy some base stations, that's what they're called, and some index controllers, get some movement in my hands, be a little more expressive with that, then move on to full body tracking, making my body more tracking. And then maybe I can move on to something like buying a different headset that maybe supports like eye and face tracking instead of trying to rely on my gestures here, which they're so bad, especially since I know it's very uncanny with my voice, with my lips. And hopefully if you smooth all that stuff out, it makes people more wanting to watch the video because I seem more lifelike. I don't seem like some weird, more of a cringy model, That's also why I put on the shirt today, because I know a lot of people don't really like kind of the avatar I have. They kind of think it's mostly kind of supposed to be suggestive. I don't try to make it at all like that. There's a reason why it's like that. It's kind of a lore-based thing on the character, but most people kind of click on the video and they see that they don't know the whole point behind the character, so they kind of just jump to conclusion, which I don't blame them. You're just a random person that clicked on this video and you see that and it kind of off-puts you. So I just need to work on making stuff a little less uncanny. But yeah, I've rambled on for a pretty long time. I don't know how long did I ramble on for. That's a while, but it's kind of necessary because I just need to let this all out. I need to make sure that everyone knows, everyone who likes watching me, to know what's going on. Because I do know some of you are still out there. Even if you guys are just my friends. I know a lot of my friends watch me. I just want everyone to know. So you don't have to worry. But I don't know what my next video will be on. Something that I've kind of just been wasting my time on. I recently bought a PS5. That was a nice investment because I bought a new TV. I bought a nice LG 65-inch TV that I turned off the tracking on. Thank you, Louis Rossman. But a lot of people say that next-gen consoles are not worth it. But even if, most of the time you gotta play PS4 games, they still look really nice. And especially when you get the PS4 Pro enhanced ones where you can run at 1440p or 4K. These look really nice and crisp, and they're kind of better than what my computer can play, because my computer's kind of limited to 1080p because I only have a 1080p monitor. But yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll make a video on that. That'll be a nice one to make a video on. Probably be a long one, but I guess maybe I should finish that ODST video. Maybe that will be my next video. But yeah, that's all I got to ramble on about. Nothing more. I guess now I'm just gonna go out and enjoy this world until my headset battery dies. I've kind of just been needing time to myself. Mostly, I've been in my room too much, just watching YouTube after I'm done with work, because I've been just up in arms about stuff. I mean, I just finished an overtime shift, just literally like a couple of hours ago, and I came home and I decided to make this video. And yeah, I kind of just need time to myself down. So, I'll catch you guys later. I don't hold up you guys anymore. How many hours I have cooked up in VR from this single world alone. I never do too much of that sort of selfie cam look, but maybe I guess you guys can get it one time, I'll end just looking out at the sun. I mean, not the sun, the sun. The nice beach here.